Being a devoted animal enthusiast, a woman eagerly welcomed the seemingly homeless cat into her home. But not long after the rescue, her grandson began to harbor doubts about the cat's true nature. Eventually, his suspicions led him to uncover a startling revelation about the animal's actual identity. In the heart of Kansas, a compassionate grandmother held an extraordinary affection for felines. The sight of homeless kittens tugged at her heartstrings deeply. As a result, she frequently welcomed stray cats from the neighborhood into her abode, ensuring they had nourishment and refuge. This kind-hearted woman's devotion to caring for homeless cats was so profound that she transformed her porch into an impromptu haven. Her dedication was evident in the cozy setup she arranged, complete with beds and sustenance, creating an inviting atmosphere for a continuous procession of furry guests who could freely come and go. Consequently, her grandson, Eric Hertlane, would often find himself encountering new, four-legged companions during his visits to her residence. Yet it was on a recent visit that he encountered a creature whose memory would linger in his mind for a long time to come. During his visit, the young man went to check on the current batch of strays on his grandmother's porch. But this time, there was one animal that particularly stood out because it didn't look anything like the other animals. The creature in question had an elongated face, a stout little body, and a hairless tail. Upon closer inspection, Eric realized that the animal wasn't a cat at all. It was actually a possum, which he believed must have sneaked into the house under the radar. The presence of a wild animal in his grandmother's home understandably alarmed Eric. Some people consider possums to be pests due to their tendency to steal pet food and rifle through garbage. So, Eric wasn't sure how to tell his grandma about the imposter. In the end, he decided to gently ask about his grandmother's new friend. She told me that it was one of her cats. Eric informed Love Meow in December 2017. What's more, she revealed that she'd been feeding the animal for some time and had already christened him. Eric decided that now was the time to break the news to his grandma. He told her that her new friend was not a cat as she first thought. The concerned grandson explained that the creature was actually a possum. The revelation came as quite a surprise to Eric's grandmother. "I laughed for a good 5 minutes," he subsequently told the dodo. "She didn't realize what I was laughing about until I started pointing out the pointy nose and skinny tail. She didn't realize it wasn't a cat after all." Taking a closer look at her furry friend, a smile emerged across Eric's grandmother's face. She looked up at me and said, "Well, he hasn't bothered anybody yet, so why not?" With a big grin on her face, Eric told Love Meow. There was no way of telling for sure where the possum had come from. Eric had a theory that the animal had become orphaned at a young age. Still, luckily for the possum, it had found an adoptive mom in Eric's grandmother. There wasn't much that she could do to prevent the possum from returning now, even if she wanted to. So he continued to pay her visits on a regular basis and pretty much behaved like all the other strays. He's been laid up on the porch with all the other cats, a bemused Eric revealed. So it seemed that everyone had accepted the possum into the fold. Eric's grandmother treated the animal like he was just another cat, and amazingly, the real felines did too. Having arrived at the house as a baby, it seemed that the possum had somehow fit right into the clan of kitties. The only thing that made the possum slightly different was that he didn't like people touching him. He's a pretty friendly one. He loves sitting on the porch with the other cats but seldom lets people pat him, Eric explained. So everything worked out for Eric and his grandmother, and they couldn't help but see the funny side of the mix-up. Eric found the whole incident so amusing, in fact, that he decided to post about it on Twitter alongside an image of himself, relaxing with his feline friends. Eric wrote, "My grandmother has been taking care of a possum these last couple of months, thinking it was just another cat. What are you doing, Grams?" And Hert's post proved to be a hit online. Soon it had racked up hundreds of likes. Moreover, it also attracted the attention of a number of online news outlets, including one as far away as Japan. Although the possum's initial appearance surprised Eric, his grandmother's familiar compassion eased any astonishment. Her caring disposition ensured he wasn't taken aback, even as she pledged to continue tending to the possum. Witnessing her generosity prompted Eric to consider a lesson for all. Her devotion to animals and their well-being, he observed, serves as motivation to improve ourselves and treat all creatures more kindly.
Thanks for watching another heartwarming video. Please check out our channel for more stories that will make your heart melt.